Hello, my loyal followers. As you know, I usually make this appearance, usually when I'm reacting or making my speeches. So now, I'm going to be reacting to Optimus Prime, but this time, I'm going to be reacting to his trash talk time videos in relation to the sequel, and also shed my own light and opinion, especially since his rules and everything else makes me feel irrelevant and how he thinks of me. Because, in truth, my words aren't irrelevant. His rules, half of them are. He comes from the right place, of course. But he really doesn't know anything about how the shadows work. Anyway, without further ado, these two are going to annoy me deeply. Unreal.
Hey guys, so it is New Year's Eve 2015, so yeah, 2016 is getting pretty close, isn't it? And guess what, guys? I'm about to go in and see the new Star Wars movie called Star Wars The Force Awakens. Oh man, I've waited so many years for this movie. I really can't wait for it. I'm so excited. Oh man, I'm really, really excited. Been waiting so long, and yeah, got my ticket and everything. And also, guys, if anyone tries to stop me going, I've got his lightsaber here, or if anyone tries to stop me from watching it, I can scare them. Did he just say he's got a lightsaber? Oh, I can hear it right. Oh no, I'm out of here.
Man, your double-sided is a coward and a cheater.
No one's coming. Oh my goodness. It's nearly time for a movie. I best get going. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. You know, I just wished that I didn't scare away my future self with a lightsaber and I just let him come in my room to tell me not to watch this because, oh boy, this movie was rubbish. I really, really hate this movie so much, right? I mean, I'm going to be honest, right? You know, when I first saw this on New Year's Eve 2015, I actually really enjoyed it, you know, because we had Star Wars movies for 10 years and, you know, and this movie came out 10 years like Avengers Sith, and, you know, I enjoyed it, but, you know, when I re-watch it more and more, and especially after watching the god-awful sequels to it, in my opinion, yeah, I actually do hate this movie, and I consider it the third worst Star Wars movie of all time after, you know, The Lazy Jedi and The Fall of Skywalker, and this movie is known as Star Wars The Force Awakens, or Episode 7 Force Awakens, whatever you want to call it, but for me personally, guys, I call it Disney Wars The Farce Awakens, because this movie was definitely the beginning of, you know, the downfall of Star Wars at the hands of Disney, and yeah. So, it's like this movie had potential to be the start of like an amazing trilogy, but it all failed miserably, and we'll get to why. So, okay, is anything good about this movie I'd like to get through? So, okay. I will say that the acting is done very well by the actors. Now, sure, I may not like, you know, the new characters, guys, but I will say the actors were very good as them. In my opinion, you know, we can't blame the actors for a certain character, you know, if you don't like them, you know. I did also have the scenes featuring Han Solo and Chewbacca because it was great to see Harrison Ford come back as Han. It was very nice to see Han come back. And yeah, I really liked the interaction with Chewie. You know, but my favourite, you know, friendship in Star Wars, and they were definitely amazing. And yeah, another thing as well that I will say that I do also like is the visuals are also pretty good as well, guys. I won't lie, especially, you know, the Falcon escape from Jakku. In my opinion, very well visualed, and also I think the music by John Williams is also great. I mean, because John Williams is my favourite composer of all time, guys, and he's never a problem in a Star Wars movie, in my opinion, because he composes such amazing music. So yeah. Now, on to, shall we say, the bad qualities of this movie. Oh God, right. I really don't know where to begin with, you know, the bad qualities I have with this movie. So, okay. One thing I know that we can probably definitely agree on, guys, is definitely that this movie is basically A New Hope 2.0. Yeah, it's basically the exact same plot as A New Hope, guys, where basically, you know, the Jedi are nearly extinct, and, you know, it begins with, you know, a droid being given, you know, something as part of, you know, helping the good side, which is, in this case, is resistance. Only this piece, which has been given to him, is like a piece to a puzzle to find Luke Skywalker, because guess what, guys? Luke has disappeared. So, yeah. Now, we'll get on to Luke in a bit, guys, but onto the whole rehash of A New Hope, and also featuring as well similar vehicles to the original trilogy, such as, you know, TIE Fighters, X-Wings, things and that, really. I want them to create, you know, new ships, really, guys, in my opinion, like the prequels did, but they never did in this movie, which, you know, I was disappointed with. And, of course, the whole giant space station that has the ability to destroy an entire planet, well, in this case, multiple planets at the same time, which is none other than Starkiller Base. I really hate Starkiller Base, guys. Absolute waste of innovation. Absolutely terrible thing, really. Couldn't stand it. It's just basically Death Star 3. But, you know, more than double the size of the normal Death Star size, you know? But, yeah. Absolutely stupid, and, you know... Okay, on to the characters. I really did not like, you know, the new characters in this movie. I could not connect to them at all. Finn, in my opinion, is the most decent out of the original, the original three heroes introduced in this movie, you know, out of him, Rey, and Poe Dameron. You know, because he had, like, lots of potential, really, and, you know, guys, the promotional material is very misleading because it shows Finn, you know, with a lightsaber, and it's making us think he's going to be a Jedi, but nope. That never happened, because, get this, guys, you know, it's Rey that, you know, is destined to become a Jedi, apparently. And we'll get to why I hate Rey in a moment. But yes. What's next? Oh yeah. Another thing as well, I also did not like Poe Dameron either, guys. Poe Dameron he's an example of a completely pointless character, because after, you know, he appears to have died, and then comes back later, he served no purpose at all in this movie, you know. That's why I think, you know, he should have just, you know, stayed dead, because, you know, he served his purpose of, you know, getting, you know, the piece of the puzzle to find Luke away from First Order in BB-8, you know?
Oh, what?
But, yeah.
Sorry, everyone. This will have to take a little delay. Sorry about that. Priorities tend to change, as we all do. But don't worry, this was a momentary setback. But now that I'm back, let's continue where we left off, shall we? In 3, 2, 1.
I think Oscar Isaac is a great actor, guys, and I think he's miles better, in my opinion, as Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse, and also with Miguel O'Hara's Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse post-credit scene. And there's probably the roles he played too that are amazing as well, yeah. But as Poe Dameron, I did not like Poe. And on to Rey. Oh, God. Rey. An example of a terrible character, guys, who I can't stand. So, yeah. I won't lie, guys. I only like Rey in the first half of the movie where she's just a scavenger on Jakku, because I thought it was an interesting way to introduce us to her, but, you know, it's like, in the second half of the movie, guys, that's when it all went downhill for my respect for Rey and liking her as a character. Because, get this, guys, somehow, despite having zero training in the Force, she's able to use it. So, yeah. What the heck? And, like, you know, for example, she's able to read Kylo Ren's mind with no training. She's able to mind control a Stormtrooper played by Daniel Craig with no training. She's able to use a Force to pick up a lightsaber with no training. Mary Sue. Honestly, I couldn't stand her. Like, where did that all come from? She had no training, and don't say it's because she's a Palpatine, because that's the stupidest, dumbest excuse I've ever heard.
How dare you?
So yeah, I'm sick of Rey. I mean, I respect Daisy Ridley as an actress, guys. I like her as an actress, you know, and, you know, I think I do also appreciate her for being a hero and revealing, you know, to Josh Gad that, you know, Disney had no plan. So yeah, what a hero she is for calling out Disney for having no plan. And now, another bad quality I will say is definitely, Kylo Ren. I will say, guys, that I did only like Kylo in the first half of the film, where he's a menacing figure wearing a helmet, even though I would agree with my favourite YouTuber, Evan Production, that he looks like a Mighty Duck helmet, because, yeah, pretty much does, yeah. I would, of course, agree with Snoke that, it's ridiculous, because it is ridiculous, yeah. And, when it comes to Kylo, I did like him only in the first half where he was so menacing, because I was thinking, who is this guy? He sounds pretty cool. Like, I thought he had potential to be one of my favourite Star Wars villains of all time, but nope. And we'll get to why, because only in the second half of the movie, guys, he takes off his helmet and his facial expressions were so cringy. I just couldn't stand it. Like, why was he pulling that creepy looking smile at Rey and not pulling a menacing face? Because Adam Driver is a fabulous actor, right? And he could have pulled off, a menacing performance even without the mask on. But no, he had to do those very cringy expressions in front of Rey when he took his mask off. Hated that. So yeah, as soon as he took off his helmet, I lost respect for him, and I hated him. And when it comes to original trilogy characters, guys, I will say, that while it was somewhat of a guilty pleasure to see them return, especially Han and Chewie, I hated how they were all wasted in this film, because Han and Chewie don't appear until over, 45 minutes into a movie, which I was annoyed about. Leia and C-3PO also don't appear until way over an hour into a movie, until after, the battle of, Takodana, when they come as reinforcements, and R2-D2 is also completely wasted because he only has about 5 minutes of screen time, and he's pretty much deactivated for most of the movie. Ever since Luke vanished, he's deactivated. And now, on to Luke. Oh god, right, okay. Luke Skywalker was definitely the most wasted character in this movie because, despite the fact that Mark Hamill was confirmed to be reprising his role in this movie, and despite the fact that he was billed second after Harrison Ford in the castings, Luke doesn't have much screen time at all because it's only 30 seconds of screen time, guys. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Because he only appears in 2 scenes, guys. One where you can see him with his hood on touching R2-D2's dome in Rey's vision with a metal hand. And of course, in the final scene of the movie where Rey presents him with a lightsaber which belongs to Anakin Skywalker. And he doesn't even say anything in either scene. So yeah, what an absolute waste of a character. And not to mention, he was also absent from all of the trailers, apart from, the mechanical hand touching R2-D2's dome scene. And we didn't see his face. Wasn't in the posters either. So yeah, what an absolute waste of Luke. And I feel so sorry for Mark Hamill, really. Because apparently I do believe he filmed more scenes, but they all got cut. So yeah, what a joke. And now, another thing as well, guys, is, Snoke. Because Snoke was a pretty interesting character, guys. Andy Serkis was fantastic as him with the motion capture. But Snoke was also a bit wasted because he didn't have much screen time either, which I didn't like. And of course, I especially hated what happened, in the next film, which we'll be covering in a couple of weeks' time on the next Trash Talk episode. Episode 3, yeah. But yeah. And when it comes to General Hux was, a pretty... At first, I didn't mind him, but I feel like he was like a complete rehash of Tarkin from A New Hope. Really, I didn't like that at all. I wanted something new from him, but yeah. I like Donald Gleeson way more as Bill Weasley in the Harry Potter films, the last 2 of them. So yeah. And of course, Hux also got far more worse in the next one because he became comic relief, but yeah. Another thing as well, guys, is, another thing that happened in the story which I really hated was killing off Han Solo. And guys, I do not care if Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo to die since they filmed Empire Strikes Back, because just because Harrison Ford wants Han Solo to die doesn't mean it's the right thing to do for a character. That's why my sequel trilogy that I wrote, guys, I didn't kill off Han Solo. I retired him after appearing in all 3 films of a trilogy. I retired him. I didn't kill him off. Because I gave him, the peaceful ending he deserved, So yeah, that's why I hated Kylo, killing off one of my favourite Star Wars characters of all time. So yeah, I was angry about that. Couldn't believe it. I remember watching the cinema, guys, I was actually really upset. I was enjoying the movie until that moment, So yeah. But this film is just ridiculous, guys. I mean, I used to like it when I was younger, when I first saw it in 2015, but now I hate it. I just can't stand it. Especially after watching the other two films, I don't care about this movie at all. I think it's rubbish. Can't stand it. So yeah. Another thing that I don't like is Captain Phasma, guys, because she literally serves no purpose in this movie at all, or in the next film which I'll be covering in a few weeks on the next Trash Talk. You know, Gwendolyn Christie, I like her more as Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones, but in my opinion, Captain Phasma was a rubbish character. I hated her. She was only in the movie for action-figure purposes, guys, so yeah. I mean, I do remember getting a figure of Captain Phasma when I was a kid as well, yeah, in anticipation for a movie, but yeah, I think I sold it recently because I didn't like it, But yeah, it was like one of those, little figures, which, if you press a button, it talks. Yeah, it was one of them, yeah. But yeah, I sold it alongside other Secret Trilogy figures, yeah. Because, I just didn't like her. Like, she was only there for action-making purposes, no purpose at all. It's like, if you erased her from the story, it wouldn't affect the story at all, guys. Not at all. But yeah, so this movie, still is, I mean, in my opinion, it is the most decent out of the sequel trilogy, but that doesn't mean I like it because I hate it, guys. I think it's rubbish. So yeah, I also as well thought it was stupid how C-3PO had a red arm. I didn't like that. They didn't seem to explain, where he got a red arm from. Wait till like on Lego Fast Awakens, as I call it, to explain via DLC mission called a Phantom Limb, which was stupid. They should have explained it in a movie. And also, when it comes to Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber, Maz Kanata doesn't explain where she got it from. It fell down the hole in Cloud City. So yeah, how did she get it back? Absolutely ridiculous. Like, they didn't explain at all how it came back at all. Ridiculous. So absolutely stupid. But yeah. So all in all, though, guys, because of these bad qualities, guys, and I've been growing to hate this movie even more and more, I'm going to score this movie out of 10. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10, just like I said on my holiday special Trash Talk I did it, a couple of months ago. So yeah, 4 out of 10, yeah. So guys, this is me doing the second episode of my Trash Talk series, this time for Disney Wars The Force Awakens, as I call it. So drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to leave comments what you guys thought of this Trash Talk of The Force Awakens, and tell me your thoughts on the movie if you've seen it, see what your thoughts are on it. Also, be sure to join the team by my best and subscribe for more videos in the future, and may the Force be with you always.
They also give you a 14 days.
Half of that was true. The other half is nothing but a crock. Those conspirators. Those mistakes. We should have been more careful. It was the beginning of something special indeed. Half of what Luke said is true. The legends were somewhat wasted. And what's worse, half of our questions were left unanswered. JJ made the mistakes, but he's many things, but he isn't Johnson and Kennedy. Well, to be honest, truthfully, I had no problem with the old ships. Who doesn't like an old classic? Okay, sure, we didn't get a few new ships then. But God almighty, it's not that big, and okay, Starkiller Base may have been a rip-off in the Death Star, but anyone would admit that taking the planet's sun power and using it to fire the multiple shots. That means they would have been able to take down more planets than one, each one just like the Hosni system. At least that's what I would have saw the potential of that weapon. Rey's force skills. Okay, tricky. And I'm guessing I'm going to really get a lot of hate on this one. Dorman skills. when she most likely found that lightsaber, Anakin's lightsaber, one of my favorites. It was, how to say, would have been the, I guess you would call it. Oh boy, this is not going to be easy. It's reminded me a little bit of Cal Kestis. His Force abilities reawakening. In some ways, Force Rey's abilities awakening. The Force isn't always simple-minded. I even saw Ezra using his technique and tricks. You can ask Episode 1. Even the beginning of it in season 1 of Rebels, they'll tell you. Had we put a little more, JJ was never at fault, and neither were the characters. And I'm glad you respect them, Luke, but God almighty, how dare you? It was supposed to be the beginning of something special, you dumb son of a hut. I know. I'm going to be shot big time when people see this. But it's my opinion, and I'm going to be giving him a big bit of a trash talking. So save it. We had, like I said, we had the characters, we had the script, we had everything. But in some ways, it was going to run like clockwork. And JJ had most of his ideas maybe in the bag. Hell, maybe some of the others went in. But no, Catherine and those conspirators from Disney who did it in the shadows wanted to blow half of it up. Them and their pride and their ego. They just wanted the money and leaving us in the dirt and let us become rampaging animals. And in some ways, this mask represents how much pain and suffering of hell I went through. But I'm trying my best to be as reasonable and as nice. But Lucamus Prime, that was unbelievable. I know it's your opinion, but give me a break. That trash talk. Mary Sue? Jesus, I'll Mary Sue you back into the deepest train station in England. And I'll be making sure to bury you myself. What a fucking mess. But you did give me one good thing, right? You managed to basically save my soul before you called me irrelevant and threw me aside for speaking my mind out too much. And other fans, I was doing what I had to, and so was my other half. For us and them. But your way can't save what we love. And I've done everything and tried to be as best as I can. I've given them reassurances and balance and hope. You did nothing. This next trash talk's gonna really piss me off. And I know people will really gonna hate me on this video. Maybe before I get to that, let's see. What else can I say? Yeah. We are unbalanced, and in some ways we still are. We're not perfect. And to be honest, I'm trying to forget about the past. And what's worse, these opening up my wounds, not taking irrelevant things. That kind of attitude deserves to be shot. Because in some ways, that actress who played as our dear little rebel hunter, whoever you want to call her, who basically helped out with Mando from time to time, she was thrown out for irrelevant things. So it looks to me, I'm the person doing it in the shadows. Give me a break. That is pure idioticness and hypocrisy. Think about it, Luke. Sometimes people have their own opinions and they can sometimes state their opinions. Maybe we can keep it in our minds, but it doesn't mean we can keep it down forever. And there's one thing you really don't understand. I actually did choose my words as carefully as I could, and I did say things that were relevant. Is that what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, that's right. If it wasn't for the prequel, the Clone Wars would never happen, and Mark Lanter would never have gotten the damn thing. And if it, like I said, if it wasn't for those idiot conspirators, Catherine, Johnson, and those idiots, Disney jackasses, and Bughead CEO, Rose would not be getting shot. Alrighty, let's get this last one over with. And then after I give my own trash talk, I'll continue forward without your sorry little excuse of an empire.
Hey guys, so it's December 16, 2017, and guess what? I was heading to see the new Star Wars movie called Star Wars The Last Jedi. Oh man, I'm so excited for this. I really loved Rogue One. Wonder what this one will be like. I'm so excited. Hope it's better than Force Awakens, because I thought it was good, but I wonder if this will be better or not. Well, let's find out. I'm really excited for it. I really can't wait. I'm so excited. Got a ticket and everything, yeah. I'm really hyped. Oh, stop it. My phone's ringing. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Hello? Hello? Is that Luke? Yeah, that's me. Hi, it's you from the future. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm actually you from the future. What? You're me? How do you even exist? What is this? I need to warn you about something very dangerous, okay? You're about to see the film called Star Wars The Last Jedi, aren't you? Yeah, that's right. I'm going to go and see The Last Jedi, yeah. I should be on my way now, actually, but you just interrupted me. No, don't watch it. You're going to really hate it, right, okay? You weren't really big on Force Awakens. You're going to really hate this one. You're going to say it's the worst Star Wars movie ever. You're going to really hate it. Wait, why tell me I shouldn't watch it? Because I really want to see this. I'm a Star Wars fan.
So am I.
You know what, future me, or if you even are future me, or just an impersonator trying to sound like me, can you please leave this call right now? Because I need to go out, because it's nearly time for me to go and see this movie. Oh no, I can't hang up. You're going to really hate this movie. I need to warn you. Fine.
Yeah.
No choice. I'm going to press hang up button. No, don't press. He hanged up. Well, that was really weird, weren't it, guys? My future self just tried to call me. If he was a future self, maybe I was dreaming, but oh my goodness, look at the time. I best get going. This won't be starting soon. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.
And I guess that future self turned you into the darkest part of you.
I really wish I listened to my future self on that phone call I had on the day I saw the film, because now I've come to really regret going to see this movie because, oh my god, right? I don't know where to begin with how much I hate this movie. I hate it so much, so yeah. Anyway, guys, so welcome to episode 3 of the Trash Talk series, and this is for none other than what is, in my opinion, the number 1 worst Star Wars movie of all time, which is none other than Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, or as I call it, Disney Wars, The Lazy Jedi. Because I refuse to call it a Star Wars movie. It doesn't even feel like a Star Wars movie. So, yeah. Now. So quick synopsis of the movie for you. This movie follows Rey as she seeks the aid of Luke Skywalker in hope of turning the tide of the Resistance in the fight against Kylo Ren and the First Order, with General Leia Organa, Finn and Poe Dameron attempt to escape a First Order attack on the dwindling Resistance fleet. So, yeah. But, okay. You know what, guys? Let's get through the good stuff first, okay? I mean, I don't know what I could consider good out of this movie, but yeah, I'm going to try. Alright, so, the good things, the visuals and the special effects, practical effects or whatever, they're still, as good as ever, top notch or whatever. And John Williams' music is one of the few things I have no problem with in this movie, because he's my favourite composer of all time, and he introduced lots of, new music in this movie, which I really like to listen to, as well as familiar themes, His music is, like I said, in grace, and when it comes to favourite scenes, there's only 2 scenes in this film that I like, guys. The one which features the return of Master Yoda with Franco reprising his role. That was something that I was happy about because I love Yoda. And I love how he gave Luke the lesson that, you know, failure is the greatest teacher. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other scene that I
Apparently
do
we're
like
not
is
learning
definitely
it.
when Snoke is trash-talking Kylo. It's so satisfying, and it feels like Snoke really is us who hate Kylo, you know, people like me who hate Kylo. I do love that scene because he trash-talks him. It's what Kylo deserves for being such an unlikable character for me, you know. But on to the bad stuff. Oh my god, right, okay. Here we go. Alright.
Kill me.
The first thing I'm going to trash talk about in this movie is how it completely ruins and underdevelops and butchers my favourite Star Wars protagonist and my hero growing up as a kid, Luke Skywalker, because, you know, they really ruined Luke so much in this movie, right? I refuse to believe the Luke in this movie is the Luke I grew up with in the original trilogy, because he's nothing like the Luke I've grown up with at all. Like, I thought based on the ending of Force Awakens he'd still be the Luke I know, but what I really hated was, you know, as soon as Rey gave him a lightsaber, I immediately started to dislike him in this movie when he threw his father's lightsaber over his shoulder. Like, that is your father's lightsaber, Luke, and you're throwing it over your shoulder like it meant nothing, like a joke. How could you do that? And I hated how he was such a sad, miserable hermit who did absolutely nothing. And yeah, nothing like the Luke I know who's so optimistic and, you know, never giving up hope, you know? I was furious at how he treated Luke in this movie, and plus, I also really hated how, you know, in the flashbacks where we see Ben Solo, I really hated how Luke didn't even try to redeem him, he tried to, you know, destroy him. You know, he contemplated killing him upon learning that Snoke was trying to corrupt him, which then caused Kylo to, you know, destroy the Jedi Order temple. Like, that is not what Luke would have done, because Luke redeemed his father, who killed him, who he thought he killed Ben Kenobi, you know, but he didn't want to redeem Kylo, he tried to kill him. So yeah, that's not Luke, and I also really hate how, you know, another thing I hate was how he died as well, guys, because that scene where, you know, we think we're going to get an epic duel between, you know, master and former apprentice, but nope. We were all tricked because, you know, Luke wasn't even there. He was just, you know, a force projection. And he doesn't even, you know, duel Kylo. He instead dodges all of his attacks, and then he trash talks Kylo, saying there's no hope for him or whatever, you know. Doesn't even, like, try to convince him to turn back to the good side at all, like he did to Darth Vader at all. He instead trash talking saying there's no hope, you know, you've lost or whatever, you know. And then after that, Kylo tries to kill him, but then realizes, you know, he's literally hitting the air because Luke isn't there. And then Luke disappears, and then on actual way he's still there, he dies. And also, Ruin Johnson, a director I really hate after this, because he ruined my childhood with this movie, and also because he's disrespectful to the fans, you know, who don't like this film like me. You know, he attacks fans who don't like this movie. You know, I really hate as well, you know, how he made a mistake with Luke's mechanical hand, because when Luke Skywalker fades away, guys, his mechanical hand goes with him. It doesn't, you know, land on the floor. It fades alongside him because it's not organic, you know, it's metal, so why did it, you know, not stay on the, you know, the rock he was sat on, you know? Oh, another thing as well that I really hate about this movie, guys, is that alongside Luke, the original characters who were brought back in this movie, just like Force Awakens, they get wasted. So, for example, I really hated how Leia was wasted because, you know, this was Carrie Fisher's final film that she completed before she died, guys, you know, rest in peace. So, I was hoping she'd have lots of screen time and a very big role, yet in the film, she's hardly in the film at all because for most of the movie, she's out of commission in a coma. So, yeah, I was very furious about that. Because, you know, oh yeah, what I also really hate was also how Amon Akbar and many other, you know, resistance leaders were killed when the First Order ship, you know, shot down, you know, the resistance's, you know, main hangar. I hate how Amon Akbar died, and, you know, so yeah, Amon Akbar was completely wasted in this movie, you know, so disrespectful to the character. Like, he's one of my favourite parts of Return of the Jedi, guys, and he was killed in this film. I hated that so much. But Leia, on the other hand, was able to fly back into her base using the Force, which I've not got a problem with that, guys, because she is, strong in the Force, because, as confirmed in Force Skywalker, she was a former Jedi, so I'm not surprised that she knows how to use the Force, but sadly, that's all we get of her because, of using her powers, because she was in a coma for most of the movie. He doesn't wake up until like an hour later, so yeah. Leia was completely wasted in this movie, and she only has one scene with Luke, and that's it. And Luke wasn't in there, he was just a projection. Also, Chewbacca, right, I enjoyed Chewbacca a lot in The Force Awakens, right, but I really hate how he hardly does anything in this movie at all. And he's hardly in the movie either, The only things he does that I remember is kicking down the door to Luke's hut, and also eating a porg. And speaking of porg, guys, I really hate the porgs. Unnecessary creatures are so annoying, They look like a combination of a rabbit and a blowfish. Yeah. And the
I'll
noises
give you a
they make on an
blowfish.
like, oh my god. Like, I can't believe we just made that noise, but, can't stand them.
I'll give you a standing
yeah.
when I'm done.
I also really hate how C-3PO and R2-D2 are hardly in the movie either. Because 3PO appears sporadically throughout the movie, but he's hardly in it. And R2-D2 is also hardly in the movie as well, because...
No. Another technical difficulty. Give me a break. If this keeps up, I'll give someone else a technical difficulty. Sorry about that again. Let's just say life really has a way of shooting you in the back. But anyway, in 3, 2, 1, let's get this over with. A small repeat performance. Let's just get this damn well over with, because I'm getting sick of this reaction.
I also really hate how C-3PO and R2-D2 are hardly in the movie either.
A small correction.
And yeah. I also really hate how C-3PO and R2-D2 are hardly in the movie either. Because 3PO appears sporadically throughout the movie, but he's hardly in it. And R2-D2 is also hardly in the movie as well, because he only has a couple of scenes. I mean, one where he meets Luke on the Falcon after all these years, and but that's it pretty much. R2 and 3PO are hardly in the movie. So yeah, I was disappointed, and another big bad quality that I can't stand about this movie, guys, is definitely a character that I think is the worst character in Star Wars, which is none other than Rose Tico. Because she's so utterly annoying, I can't stand her. She serves no purpose in this movie at all, and the worst thing she did, in my opinion, was preventing Finn from sacrificing himself to destroy the First Order, armies, which were, trying to break into the Crate base, with their generator. I think him sacrificing himself, was probably a very noble end to his character. And, as well, I think, it would have perfectly ended him, and it made me have respect for the character. That's why he's my favourite member of the sequel trilogy Trinity, But she prevents him from doing that. I was furious. I hated how she stopped him from sacrificing himself, and as a result, it caused the First Order to breach the base, and, it caused, Luke to have to show up and end up dying afterwards, so, yeah.
You blame her for that?
I was so furious. And I also, as well, really hated, what they did, really. But I will say that Kelly Tran is a lovely actress in real life, guys. She's a very lovely person, and she's a great actress, and in my opinion, she's miles better as Raya in Raya and the Last Dragon than as Rose Tico.
Well, that one we can definitely agree on.
She would definitely agree with the haters that Rose sucks as well, and I definitely agree with them, because Rose does suck.
You can punch them instead of her.
But I do have lots of respect for her. I also really hate how several characters we met in the first film of this trilogy are also wasted in this movie. For example, Maz Kanata only has one scene as a hologram.
Huh?
Like, she was built up to be like an interesting, mysterious character in the first film, and she only has one scene in this film, so yeah, what a waste. What an absolute waste. And also, Captain Phasma. Phasma was completely wasted because she only appears in, one actor movie, which is, during the battle with, Supremacy, the massive First Order ship, I think it is, yeah. And, it was just, so stupid because she was wasted, and, she hardly did much of a movie at all. Completely wasted, and, they also confirmed that when she fell down the hole, she did die, guys, so, yeah, that's why she returned in the sequel, yeah. it's because she died, so yeah. So yeah, she was completely wasted in these films, guys. That's why I like Gwen and Christie way more as Brienne of Tarth and Game of Thrones. And also, Snoke as well, right? Oh my god, right? Snoke was another example of a character that was mistreated terribly in this movie because he was built up to be like an interesting new villain who we're going to really enjoy watching, but in this movie it all went downhill because, get this guys, he gets killed by his own apprentice, Kylo.
That and a couple other things.
That was so terrible how they killed him off, and they didn't even, confirm his backstory or anything like that, or like who he's aligned with, or like what species he is, or whatever, or who he really is, like if Snoke is like an alter ego or anything like that. Yeah, they completely wasted such a very interesting character. Like Andy Serkis was phenomenal with his motion capture, and performance, but they barely gives enough of him. So yeah, and then again, that whole idea of apprentice killing master is like a very familiar plot line, isn't it? This movie has plot lines of both Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, which made it so predictable, and I hated that. And I also really could not stand the entire subplot of Cancel Bite because while it was an interesting point, the Star Wars version of Las Vegas, the subplot going there for a Master Codebreaker was utterly pointless, and it didn't even feel like a Star Wars movie anymore. It just felt like a complete, crap fest. Hated it. And I also wasn't really a fan of DJ either, played by Benicio del Toro, because, we were tricked into thinking he'd be like a very big, main antagonist guy, like on the same level as Kylo, but nope, he was instead like an Imperial spy, secretly, First Order spy, secretly working with them, as, another Master Codebreaker. So Finn and Rose went to Canto Bite for no reason because they got captured, and Master Codebreaker happened to be there with him in the cell, not one played by Justin Theroux. So yeah, like, this movie is just absolutely terrible, guys. I really hate it, and I also, as well, really hate how they made Hux a complete joke in this film because, in the first film, he was built up to be like an interesting new villain, even before he was a remake of Grand Moff Tarkin. But in this movie, he's comic relief because we made him a complete joke, trying to make him funny. But the humour in this movie failed miserably because they're trying to make this trilogy like it's part of Marvel, guys, like a rip-off of which is Star Wars.
Not a criticism word because I'm really getting pissed and annoyed. 3, 2, 1. This is getting annoying. Again.
And it didn't even feel like a Star Wars movie anymore. It just felt like a complete, crap fest. Hated it. And I also wasn't really a fan of DJ either, played by Benicio del Toro, because, we were tricked into thinking he'd be like a very big, main antagonist guy, like on the same level as Kylo, but nope, he was instead like an Imperial spy, secretly, First Order spy, secretly working with them, as, another Master Codebreaker. So Finn and Rose went to Canto Bite for no reason because they got captured, and Master Codebreaker happened to be there with him in the cell, not one played by Justin Theroux. So yeah, like, this movie is just absolutely terrible, guys. I really hate it, and I also, as well, really hate how they made Hux a complete joke in this film because, in the first film, he was built up to being like an interesting new villain, even before he was a remake of Grand Moff Tarkin. But in this movie, he's comic relief because we made him a complete joke, trying to make him funny. But the humour in this movie failed miserably because they're trying to make this trilogy like it's part of Marvel, guys, like a Marvel rip-off of which is Star Wars, basically. What? And, like, for example, the scene where, Paul is distracted from First Order by contacting them on the intercom, saying those stupid jokes about, Hux' mother, that was just so cringy. If we're trying to make it funny, they failed miserably. Because that was just stupid. And also, when it comes to Rey, I really hated how Luke hardly even trained her because in the final film, he only gives her like about 2 lessons, and the other one is cut and is only in a deleted scene. So yeah, and somehow she's able to, use the Force pretty well and, fight with a lightsaber well, without even any training, which is just ridiculous, proper training. Like, the lessons she gave her were not enough. And somehow she's so good. Like, it took Luke and Anakin Skywalker a whole trilogy each to, master the ways of the Force and to use a lightsaber, but with Rey it only took a couple of days, literally. So yeah. And plus, the lightsaber fight with Rey, Kylo, and the Praetorian Guard is also stupid because I mean, when you look at it first time, it looks like very well choreographed or whatever, but I noticed that, one of the guards made a big mistake because they could have easily slashed Rey's back from behind, but they chose not to. So, yeah, what a big mistake they made, yeah. So stupid. Absolutely stupid. And Hodor is another character that I really hate in this movie, guys, Laura Dern is an amazing actress. My favourite role she played is Dr. Ellie Sattler in Jurassic Park, 1 and 3. An upcoming film, Dominion, of course. But in this film, Hodor sucked. And I hate how she used hyperspace to, destroy supremacy. Like, that is just, ridiculous. And it completely ruins the shared universe of Star Wars. It's just absolutely unreal how stupid this movie has got to. The direction it took, was horrible. And plus, the ending of the movie makes absolutely no sense because we see all these resistance fighters celebrating, as if, something really amazing's happened and they're so happy. Yet, many of them got killed, including Luke, and somehow they're so happy. Like, what? Bad writing, isn't it, When it comes to Poe as well, again, Poe served no purpose in the movie apart from serving him, doing a mutiny. I didn't like Poe in this movie. I didn't really like what he did with Finn either, because the whole Canto Bite mission he was on, it was just pointless, And also, of course, his sacrifice was stopped by Rose.
You better watch your tongue.
I really hated it, so yeah. The writing in the movie was absolutely horrible. I don't know why people would say it was perfect, all these people who like the movie. If you like it, that's your opinion, but I don't know why, to be honest, because I hate it so much. I can't stand it. Worst Star Wars movie I've ever seen in my life. I just absolutely hate it. I really can't stand it so much. Like, it's horrible, and I also really hated how they also cut out Tom Hardy's cameo as a stormtrooper as well. Because that would have been interesting to see because I like Tom Hardy as an actor. Like, why do we have to cut it out? Like, it looked like a pretty, intense scene where he's interacting with Finn, recognising him as FN-287, But, they cut it. So that was just absolutely stupid. I hated it, Like, I wasted my excitement on this. I wasted it because, I thought it was going to be a good movie, but nope, I hated it. I really hated this movie so much, guys. The worst Star Wars movie I've seen in my life, and, I'm never going to, watch it again. I refuse to watch it, and it made me lose respect for Rian Johnson, the director. That's why I call him Ruin Johnson now, and that's why I refuse to watch any more of his future things he directs. So, yeah. But this movie is I can tell why Mark Hamill was wanting to warn us about it, before it came out, and also so did, I know Carrie Fisher also didn't like, filming the scene where she slapped Paul because, of the direction she was given. She kept getting more and more angry as she slapped him, I can't blame her, so yeah, but rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. I feel so sorry for Carrie Fisher, that having to be her last movie. I feel so sorry for you, Carrie.
Me too.
But yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm done trash talking The Last Jedi, or as I call it, The Lazy Jedi, so yeah. Even though I give it out of 10, because of John Williams' music and the two scenes I like being Yoda and also Snoke trash talking Kylo, who I hate a lot more because he was so whiny and complaining all the time, I just couldn't stand him. And also because of the visuals and practical effects, I give this movie a 2 out of 10 because I really, really hate it, so yeah. I'm done now, so and thank God for that because I hate this movie. I don't really like to talk about it. I'm doing this trash talk and that's it. So, drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to comments what you guys think of The Lazy Jedi.
I am done listening to him. But at least I calmed down a bit. All of that was true. 90%. Everything was ruined because of him. Johnson screwed us all. Our plans ruined. And in the end, I like to make the prequels look like a picnic. But truthfully, I'm glad those interruptions helped out with my temper and thinking, because to tell you the truth, I was losing it big time, again and again and again and again. Those characters were never irrelevant. They were victims, just as much as the actors and actresses, just as much as the one who played as Rose. But thank God for other movies, because if it wasn't for those, they would have been buried right next to Carrie and burned. So I'm going to finish what I have to say and make my own criticisms, and I'm going to do it good, without any restraints from this person who really doesn't think of me as relevant. Now, what you say, that was all true. To be honest, we had everything in the right direction, like I said. In other words, Johnson, Kennedy, including those conspirators from Disney, they were the traitors and the rats. They were feckin' fools. But in the result of that movie, we all became animals and started tearing everyone apart, whether they were innocent or not, even the fans like me as well. James YouTube also suffered that as well. And Luke Miss Prime is now suffering the same thing. Even though I have anger in that, I'm trying my best to focus my attentions. That's why this roleplay I'm doing, I am doing it to give Kennedy the oblivion she deserves. I know. When people will see this, I am really gonna get hit hard in the head so bad, you may as well be wishing I died. But desperate times call for desperate measures. Criticisms call for real good criticisms. Maybe I'm a slave to my emotions. Maybe I'm a slave to somewhat being oblivious or irrelevant. But he is also on the same level of being a slave. To be honest, keeping these wounds open and calling these movies Mary Sue's are nothing more than a waste of time. It's just a formality. I hope this gets fixed up. I hope the characters may return. This time, we might be able to do something like they did with the Justice League. Oh, we're nearly finished. Sorry about those last interruptions. They were really annoying. I'll edit some of the areas in that. There will be some problems, which I know you will notice from when this video is over. But I'm really getting exhausted and tired. Worst video ever? Well, a bitter irony. Since he was criticizing videos, the movies, I suppose you can put this on the worst video in history. Because I am not irrelevant. And come tomorrow and so, I'm going to make sure that those two get bleeding out dry before I burn them into complete ash and scatter them in pig slop. James may have moved on, only partially, but don't worry, I have big plans soon. Well, my opinion is those sequel movies, the first was the beginning of something special. It was just the second was the day everything was destroyed and ruined. My life, like I said, they cost me 4 years of my life, including theirs. And then they tried to end us and blamed us. In other words, everything has been leading up to this moment. They all had it coming. Now, soon I'm in the end game. I'm exhausted enough. We will meet again. And I hope when this video is out, you will have a little chat. And this time, you won't shut me up.